All right, what's up, everybody? I hope you're all having a fantastic day, evening, night, whatever time period you are in life. Today we actually have our first guest speaker for season 2, and his name is Brandon Vickers. And I'm going to have him introduce himself first. Well, after the fun fact. There's a lot of stuff I want to talk about with this guy. So, just to get the fun fact out of the way, because y'all have been threatening me if I didn't do them, y'all would kill me, verbatim from some people. But yeah, so all right. Fun fact is the average person walks the equivalent of 5 times around the world in their lifetime. Assuming the average person lives until they're 80, they will walk about 110,000 miles in their lifetime. The circumference of the equator is 24,900 miles. I find that to be pretty interesting because I don't really see myself walking that long. But all right, that's the fun fact, guys. So there's no announcements. I really just wanted to dive into this episode because this guest speaker is quite amazing, and me and him always have very, very interesting and deep talks. He is very unique. And also, if you have been with the podcast for some time now, I want to say towards the end of the first season, the music that was playing in the opening was from him. He created that song. And I also believe there was more. You created the opening. That's what it was. Okay, yeah, he created the opening. Okay, cool. So, without further ado, my guy Brandon Vickers. So, if you could introduce yourself to the audience and let them know who you are, what do you do, how old you are, favorite color, favorite animal, whatever, you know.
Well, I'm a normal guy, bro. I'm not that unique. But my name is Brandon. I go by Vic Sunbury. I'm a musician, I'm a photographer. Pretty much just a free spirit and just do my thing. Hopefully I could affect the people whoever I come in contact with, like you guys. So yeah.
Okay, normal. Why you lying? You're not normal. Why you lying to the people?
To a lot of people I am, man.
They don't know you, bro. They don't know you. Okay. So this is Brandon. So he gave y'all that part of him. But from what I know of him, he's not normal. He's unique. He's a very awesome individual. Very deep. I love his perspective on a lot of things, but we're gonna get into that. So you already asked who you. Matter of fact, start him off. Where are you from? Let's go with that. Let's start with that. Where are you from?
Well, I'm from here, West Palm Beach, Florida. But through my life, I've moved all over the place, especially the South. Stayed a great part of my childhood in Little Rock, Arkansas, and that was pretty. Everyone has a story. It's a pretty rough time, but it was a very unique experience. I met a lot of great people. A different environment, but South Little, and I came back to West Palm Beach in 2010 and been here ever since.
Okay, bad. All right. Okay, that's right. Because I remember when we were talking, I remember when I asked you when we first met, which was, that was last year, right?
Yeah, about same time, September or something like that.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why it feels longer, though. It really feels a lot longer, but that was only a year. About a year. All right, then. Okay, but when we first met, by the way, so speaking of this, so how we met was through my godbrother. We went, he introduced me bowling, to go bowling. And it was him, Brandon, and it was another mutual friend. And immediately when I met Brandon, and I was like, this guy's different. I don't know, he just had like an energy about him. So I was just like, okay, Like he's here, but his body's here, but his mind is somewhere else. Like he's a whole different person. I'm like, I want to get to know this guy. So, the more I started like talking to him, he resembled like a family member, like on my father's side. I was just like, I'm like, he looks like a cousin, like specifically like a cousin. I don't know if you remember that, but and I was like, you look just like a cousin of mine. That's when I asked him, like, do you know anybody named Sims? And you were like, yeah, that's my dad's, your pops. No, mom or pops? Pops, right? Pops.
Pops.
Yeah. Okay. He was like, yeah, that's my pops family and stuff. I was like, interesting. But I think later on we come to find that different, same last name, but different family because all of your father's side is in Arkansas, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I don't know. There was that, but like I said, met him, and then different. Had to get to know him. He just stuck out. So then I started talking with him more, and then he was just saying, yeah, you moved to a couple of different places, had a lot of different experiences, and even you was in Cali too, right?
Yeah, for a little minute. Something we'll touch on a little later, but I was right after high school, right after I hit rock bottom, and I became this person I am today. I wouldn't be the person I am without California, so.
Okay, so see, I want to dive into that like right now, because you kind of already.
Right now, bro, it's too soon.
What do you mean? I told him for this season I'm coming for him, so we can just. But okay, you know what? I do it for you. We're gonna come back to that because that's actually part of a question that I have in store. So we're gonna come to that story. So my other question is, okay, so one of the reasons also why I wanted to bring you on the podcast is because I always say that you have this focus about yourself, and it's very what's the word I'm looking for? Inspiring. Like I've met other people who have their own level of focus, but you have such this intensity with your focus, and the best way I can describe it has like this. When I explain things through the elements, so like I say, it has like this earth lightning kind of like feel to it, but you just have this intense focus about yourself. So tell them about like examples of your focus and how you got to that level.
I mean, I wake up 4:00 every morning just to start my day off and do my music, my businesses, and just to grow as a person. I'm pretty much addicted to self-improvement. I don't let it control my life, but it's only me, man. I feel like if you're going to be on this earth, why not be the best person that you can be? I feel like that should be everyone's goal, but we only get one shot at life, man, and it's like you never know when that time is going to come. So yeah, man, it's just one of those things, man. I'm addicted to it, man. It's only me. I never really had a lot of people around me to distract me, and I come from an environment that to a lot of people it's the normal thing that's around them, but I'm just the one that chose to get out of those things. So certain friends, toxic people, I mean, like I say, distractions, suffering. I feel like suffering is a choice. It's just one of those things. I remember plenty of times where you would talk to me and it'll be about emotional things. I mean, you told me how to get across an emotional barrier with my father. I did have daddy issues at one point in time, and after the conversation with you, I literally ripped up my city, like right after I got done with you, to go find this guy that I haven't talked to in years. And yeah, man, if you tell me to do something on how to improve, I just do it. I don't really see anything about wasting time. I don't know, man. Just time, man. Time is very important, very scarce source. So don't let anybody waste it, but also do the best that you can.
Okay. So let's dissect this, because there's so many areas with this. So since we're easing them into this, All right. So you mentioned toxic people. Now I feel like all of us experience that. So how did you separate, or how do you separate yourself from the toxic people and stay focused on what it is that you do?
Um, well, I'm not afraid, man. I'm not afraid to find new people. Like I was just saying with you, I feel like if you put yourself in a position to be the best person that you can be, and you follow your heart and do what's best for you, um, it'll happen very unconsciously. Like I was saying, me just being me being very different, um, caused me to not have too many of the wrong people around me. But sooner or later, I got to a point with myself where um, just being me wasn't enough for the people that didn't need to be around me, and that also attracted the people that needed to be around me at the same time. So time, and like I was saying, not being afraid, not thinking from a scarce source about people. Um, no matter what person you are, how different you feel, I feel like there is people just like you. I feel like we get a lot of stories about, oh, you won't find another person that sees your value or whatever, man. But that's not true. It all comes back to you at the end of the day. You see your value, you see who you are. That's all that matters. But you have to truly know that. In order for me to get to this point, my life, I had to realize my values. So once I realized my values, man, I realized the people didn't really appreciate those values, and I also didn't try and force those on the people. So sooner or later, I mean, it's like one of those things. How they say, um, things never last. They don't. But I just enjoy the moments that I have with the people, and just do your best, man. Be nice. That's all that matters. There's nothing wrong with being nice. You be nice, people they'll remember that, and it's just one of those things.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. Also, which I love, I would also like you to highlight the, well, I guess I could say it, but you can, it's your life. But one of the things that I've noticed immediately with yourself is that your response time or reaction time to self-improvement is like top tier. Other people, they have to, it takes them a second, or it takes them, a few days, or it takes them some time to adjust or whatever. But for you like, okay, well, what I need to do? Wait, okay, let's do it now. And then you just, it's decision made, not even half a second, and you're doing so. How did you get to that point, or has that always just been a thing for you?
um I'm gonna say it like this: like, I was doing it very unconsciously, but it took me a while to actually notice what I was doing. um like I said, it all starts with your heart. So once I really got in tune with my heart, um and how I did that, I started to focus more on self-love. Like, that's really true. Vibrations, notice my own vibrations and the things that's around me. Energy intake, one of those things, man. The energy that I'm putting out, if I'm putting out too much energy to another person, I know that's probably not good for myself. So it all started within. And like I say, I always been doing these things unconsciously. And that was a very tough point. It wasn't easy because I didn't understand what the hell was going on. But once I noticed that, and I found out sharpen these things up, it all worked out for me.
Okay. Okay. So, got another question to ask you. We're going to get a little deeper. So, are you comfortable? Because I have a question to ask you when it comes to your father, right?
Hmm.
Now, I feel I can't speak for every African American male, um, but it's almost common that uh, um, some of us, like African American males, we have a household where it's usually either a single mother or as a stepfather or something like that. And then there's something with the case with the father,
Hmm.
right? Be it incarcerated, um, died, or um, don't know who the person is. So you said earlier that you had issues with your father. So Do you mind like sharing a little bit about those issues, how you overcame them, and what you gained from them now for those listeners who have the same experiences, possibly the same experiences as yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, me and you've been through this whole process, so pick out a point for me to start, because you know it's gonna get deep. So
I know, but this is gonna be good. So I would say a point to start would be when you would say his name, you had an energy like with it. Like it was just this, like it was a lot of, I wouldn't say pain at the time, but there was a lot of like, okay, there's some not good energy when that name or is mentioned. So start from there.
yeah, so that all started, man. You know, I feel like, man, when you grow up and then you take a look around, you start to think about the things that you would do and you wouldn't do. And when I would think of this man, I would think of him as a bum, man. I mean, you know, just a typical thing. Um, the father that obviously wasn't there. Um, maybe you felt like he didn't really care for you, or you know, it's just one of those things, man. I feel like parents can really mess up a kid and don't even know it, you know. And it's because of their own situations, you know. And it's like someone's dangling something over you the whole time. And what it was for me is what it was my father's love. You know, I would steadily get teased by it, you know. I would steadily have the calls of, oh man, I'll come do these things for you. Um, Plenty times I've had birthdays. He would call me. Um, all the way till I was about like 17 years old, man. He would literally call me and be like, hey man, it's your birthday, I'm coming to get you. Um, yeah man, get ready. And it's still kind of getting me emotional now, because man, I remember literally waiting at the door, man.
Hmm.
You know, and that was that was tough, man. Just knowing that you will have a father that would do that, you know. And then the calls, you know, they say like you'll call them and then they won't answer, or they'll call you, they'll be like, oh man, I forgot, or whatever, you know. And it was just one of those things, man. Over time, you know, those wounds had really took me over. So like when I would hear his name, or I would say his name, or um my grandmother would mention his name, or because it'll be like certain things he would do to try and um like later on in life try and get back in my life. And I noticed having these feelings was holding me back. But before I even get to that and how it made me felt, but it was horrible, man. It was very painful, you know, even me thinking about it sometimes. But um yeah, man, I realized I gave a lot of my power, my energy, to a person that didn't really value that like that, you know, at the time. And it's very crazy as we talk about it, because I just had a conversation with him today. I was at the barbershop and he pulled up on me, and you know, just a regular conversation. But you know, I remember me and you going through this and talking about it. It was really a lot of accepting, you know. Me and my father going through these certain things, and you know, I was fighting about couldn't be one, you know. Um, it was meant for me to lose. The more and more I fought it. So um, I went through stages, you know. I went through a point where of numbness, where I didn't care, but obviously I did if I became numb to it. Um, I remember me and you talking about it, becoming vulnerable. That was a big thing. And that was a big tipping point for me, becoming vulnerable to my emotions, accepting my emotions. Um, it even like that point in my time dealing with like these father issues, it got me to a point where I was able to actually master my emotions and understand why I'm feeling what I'm feeling at certain times, or even the source of why I'm feeling certain ways. But yeah, man, it's the typical thing, man, and it sucks that it's in the black community mostly. You know, no matter if you're a man or a woman. You know, we all have certain daddy issues, and I had a father. You know, I had a stepfather that been in my life since I was like 2 years old. So you could say he was probably, you know, it's my dad, it's my pops, man. But to know that your real father didn't really um want you like that, you know, it's tough, man, when you know that.
Yeah.
It's tough to accept those things. I remember going through like these stages where I thought it was something wrong with me, but it wasn't. You know, I remember using that hatred, man, as power. Like you said, with my focus, man, I used to use that as part of my drive, and that wasn't really good because yeah, I used to get things done all the time, but it was the wrong way of doing it. You know, I noticed like the energy, man. It was like a fire, you know, a deep fire that I held on to. I used it as energy, you know. It's just like using rejection as the energy, you know. And I used that, but sooner or later I came to that point of acceptance. Like I said, I remember me and you having that conversation, and you was like, man, you just need to let go, get the answers that you need for yourself. So that one thing stuck with me. Get the answers for yourself. So that's all I was thinking about once I got done with you. So like literally after I had dropped you off, man, I literally ripped the city, dude. Like I'm talking about going to house, you know, just trying to find this dude, and I finally found him. And he was surprised to see me. He was actually happy to see me for like the first time. But you know, I literally went there without being that kid that judged them all the time. I had to put my stuff to the side. You know, I had to put how I felt at that moment to the side and actually hear what was going on, or just the things that I needed the answers, man. And once I did that, you know, I literally got the answers, and everything's not perfect, and that's okay because I got the answers that I needed. But I was able to move on with my life. You know, I noticed the more and more I was um, having those issues with him, or I had these emotions and certain stigmas, certain judgments built up towards a person, that it was actually holding me back. You know, I was feeling certain ways about him that you know he could probably care less about, or they just don't even know how you feeling, man. You know, but it's just one of those things, man. Like I said, being vulnerable was very big, and that stepping stone, and just that drive, man, to move forward. I always just want to move forward. I don't ever want to just stay here and suffer. You know, that's just my thing, man. Pain, you know, pain don't really last forever, you know, so that was just my thing. I don't care how much pain I have to endure at this moment in time, but as long as I could get to a point where I don't have to feel as much, that's what I'm gonna do, and that's literally what I did, man. And it worked out. You know, I got what I needed, and I was able to move forward.
Okay. So you were saying that, okay, with your dad, and there was something else that I wanted to highlight as well in this, which is, do you feel, okay, like how you had that experience with your dad? No, actually, no, rewind that. You said a lot of key points that was really, really important. Like you moved your stuff to the side, you got to you got the answers that you needed. So doing that right there is big in itself, because not a lot of people do that. But my question to you is, your own opinion is, why is it that you think this is such a big thing in the Black community?
Because it don't happen. Like I was saying, man, it's patterns, man. It's just patterns. Like I can count on my hand. People just like me have the same exact situation, or maybe even worse, bro. You know, so it's like it's just something that we have to break, man. And I think a lot of times we could let our emotions get to us, where we become selfish in our own stuff, the way we feel, based on how someone had did us. You know, we go through the same things, the relationships that we get in. That same energy that we had before leaks down into other relationships. in your kids' relationships, and then people kind of wonder why things happen. If that's all your kid is seeing, it's all he's exposed to. We're all a product of our environment. You know, the
Hmm.
people around us, the things that we go through, the things that we see. Um, it's very rare where you get people, even people able to have a conversation like me and you, man. It just don't happen like that. To just talk about certain things, even emotionally. Like I was just talking to you about how hard it is just to talk about certain things with you, because I never had, you know, um, someone as reliable, to talk to, someone I could actually trust with these feelings or even information I could talk about like that. Um, it's very tough, man. And just with emotions and father issues and everything else, like I don't know people's situations, but it's just not easy, man. Um, if it was easy, everybody would be doing it, but it's super tough, man. Like I say, to get out of my own way, it was super tough to forgive. Like that was hard, bro. Like it's very hard. We can even say like we forgive or we do these things, but your heart is not in it.
Yeah.
So it's like, dude, it takes time, but it's not easy.
Hmm. Yeah, you hated that F word, that forgive word.
Yeah.
You hated that. You was like, forgive. I remember the look you gave me, forgive. Like, yeah, you gotta forgive. Not for him, but for you. But let me ask you, why is it, your opinion, why is it that you think it's so hard, specifically for males in general, to talk about their emotions and what they're like experiencing? Why do
Because
you think?
we don't express our feelings. Like I was telling you, bro. Like even with me talking to you about certain things, man, I feel like a bitch or something. Excuse my language.
It's
Excuse my
okay.
language.
It's okay, I
Um,
guess. It's okay. Please.
Seriously, man. Like it's like I don't know. It's kind of like a stereotype about men. Like you're supposed to be hard. You can't share certain things. You can't cry. You can't do this. But that's not true. That's
Hmm.
very unhealthy. To
Hmm.
be um learning to be vulnerable. We think that's being soft, but it's not, bro. You need these certain things. You need certain vibrations. You can be on a certain wavelength, but like I say, you can hold yourself back too, just with society or how society say you're supposed to be or your environment. Because a lot of us are not in great situations, so a lot of us are in our survival instinct, human nature. So
Hmm.
we're automatically just always on survival mode. We don't really have time to, stop and think about emotions. It's just go, go, go to the next thing.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right. You're definitely right. Because especially society will mess you up. Society will really fuck you up because, like how you said, like society says, you got to be hard. You can't be vulnerable. You can't show emotions. And then it's just like, um, when you meet someone and like I had this conversation with a friend of mine's, she was giving it to me from a woman's perspective, which was very interesting. She was just like, I find it weird how women would say they want their man to be hard and they don't want them to show emotions because that's some that's some sissy shit or whatever, right? But she was like, but what I don't understand is, okay, let's just say that man was hard and vulnerable, but when it comes time to him loving you, he was like, nah, bitch, I don't do that. Like, she was like, so I don't get it. You want him to love you and care for you and show emotions towards you, but yet you want him to be hard. And she was like, nah, baby, you got to choose one. Because if he gonna not be vulnerable, then fuck your feelings. And I was like, damn, this is coming from like a girl. She's telling me this. She was like, I just don't get that. And she was like, people need to just like, she's like, men, she's like, I believe that's what's wrong. Like, a big part of society is that men aren't allowed to express, how they really feel, and they're not comfortable, or they don't feel safe to do it, or they have a lot of mental issues or a lot of emotional restrictions, and they're just messed up. And, she was even saying something too about how, she was saying like how men develop emotionally, I think later than, than women. And she was like, I wonder why. Y'all taught to suck it up, but who are you going to talk to when you go through things? So it was just really interesting just hearing that perspective. And it's just like, now when you're in a position to do it, it's hard. Like how you said, you feel a certain way, and then it's just like society told you, nah, you ain't supposed to do this. So it's just
Hmm.
Very interesting. Very
Yeah.
interesting.
But I know from personal experience, man, like I said, I never really had those things. I was just always different, man. Like I was always that outcast kid or that weird kid. Like I was just always to myself. And like even like as a kid moving around a lot, so you really don't have time to really connect a bond with people. And about the time I got back, man, just me being me, like I say, I don't really conform to society, or I don't like I won't be fake with you and try and kick it with you. Like I was saying, man, I just won't. I'll always be myself, man. And a lot of times, man, being yourself ain't accepted, but that's okay, even like what we was talking about before, with men, it's not accepted to show your feelings. Like, but like we were saying, man, that's bullshit, but I feel like, man, you get that out your head and you don't worry about what people think of you. You truly get rid of that belief. And you know solitude has helped me a lot. But you really get that belief out of your head, you'll be able to change things, being open to new information, you know as men, just letting that stuff go. Because even as kids, we do that to a lot of young men. We tell them to suck it up. We do it in sports all the time. They get hurt, especially as star players. Some you be like, no, suck it up. Whatever, injuries, emotions, how you feel. But you know, it's just up to us to break it. But that's the problem. A lot of us are not even aware of it.
Hmm.
Um, a lot of men aren't even aware of these things. We just, like I say, man, we just go into the next thing, which is sad. But it's like, you know, we wonder why we have so many nervous breakdowns and emotional problems, because we have all these experiences emotionally, but they just build up over time. Like you were saying with me, man, just holding that stuff in over the years and years and years, or and even using these experiences into future relationships, using the experience you have now, and expecting you're going to get something worse. So, like I was saying with you, it was like a certain point in time, let's say like new people come into my life, um, it will be like a wall or something,
Hmm.
like they'll get certain information, but it'll be like a wall, they only could get so much,
Hmm.
but, just building that trust, that's a big thing, trust. But it takes time. But like I was saying, man, those things are just not easy. It's easy to close things off. And be honest with you, I've been doing
Hmm.
it a long time. It's easy not to. It's easy to suck it up. It is, especially once you've been doing it for so long. But um, we come together and try and break that, or like, okay, relationships. You find somebody that sees the value in you. Sooner or later, as time go on, maybe you can express your feelings. But who knows, man?
Hmm. Okay. Which I'm glad you got into that, because I was going to lead to my next question is, what's your experience like with connecting with people?
With connecting, I always connect to weird people, man. Interesting people. Like, um, I
I'm
just
weird
can't
and
talk.
interesting, huh?
Yeah, man. I just can't talk to you about normal things, man. Like connecting with people, man. It's a great thing, but it's just certain energies, man. Certain wavelengths, certain frequencies that you would get from certain people, man. And it's like, those ones, man. It's very unconscious. It's just one of those things that click. You know, um, it's just like two people locking eyes.
Hmm.
And once you connect, man, like those could be like some of your best friends. And I know with me, I've had some of the deepest conversations just by connecting with people. But for some odd reason, I always like either people or, like I say, very unusual people. But um, it's just one of those things, man. I can't really put my thumb on it, but it just happens.
Hmm. Okay. Feel that, especially when you're saying your walls and stuff like that. I remember when I first met you and just connected with you. I could immediately feel like you were reading like, is this person worth my energy? Is this person worth my time? And it was just like, I don't know, for me, because it's like I do that. I vibe people. And it was just so, I don't know, I found it to be so cool and so entertaining. I was like, okay, all right. And then when I was like, talk with you more, the malls were there, boy. It was just I don't know. I find it cool because I've been so used to being the one to like talk with people who like have the walls up, but it's not to say it's a bad thing. It's just like, okay, those walls tell me a lot. Like, okay, this person is not like the average person. Like, there's something about them, and they're not just fit to just get at to anybody. Like, they're protecting their energy, and there's reasons why. And for me, I just find that really just like interesting. And then especially people who have the walls, like you guys just stand out. And I'm like, okay, I got to get to know this
Mhm.
person. So yeah, it was just entertaining. It was really cool. It was really cool. But thank you
Mhm.
for being yourself. Which goes to the next question: is what's your experience? What has your experience been like connecting with yourself?
Um, it's been very weird because, like I say, man, I was that weird kid, but it's very hard to understand some of the things that I do or
Hmm.
some of the decisions that I make. But like I say, man, they all play out at the end of the day. Um, it's always just me following my heart. That's how I connect with myself. So it's like we all say, that gut feeling or whatever it is. It's just one of those things, man, that takes control when it needs to. And I know I got deeper into connecting with myself when after I met you, got into like more meditating, um, uh, walks. Like I say, solitude is a big thing with me. Being by water is like one of my huge sources. Um, Paying more attention to how I feel and how much of a vibe I'm feeling. If it's very strong, I know it's probably something for me. Um, I know whatever my heart is telling me. Um, it's like one of those things. If I know something is not good for me, or I feel like a tense situation, or it's people, man. The environment, everything, what people are saying. Um, I just know, if is it going to help me? Is it going to teach me anything new? And if not, I know I'm probably not going to connect with that thing. So it's literally just listening to that intuition and um, like I say, man, your heart, just that energy.
Hmm. Okay. So see, I won't be lying to y'all. Meditate, walk, solitude, energy, intuition. I've been telling y'all this since season one. Come on, y'all. Come on. He's telling y'all. Somebody else. Okay. So you're a very creative person, and I've heard some of your music. I know you released some of your songs recently. Not only that, but I know you also do photography as well. So there is a question I have with that, but could you give people some insight into, your creative work, like your music, your photography? Give some people some insight on that. What's that like? What you do?
Um, well, with music, man, I just love music. I started doing music after seeing my uncle. My uncle was like a rock star to me. He been making like jazz and all that, so pretty much just took that influence and I pretty much make everything from electronic to um, more alternative and alternative and more rock and pop. I kind of got away from my culture, like which
Mm-hmm.
is hip hop. But I love hip hop. But I'm just more into different things, man, and exploring those things. So um, I fell in love with guitar, and that's pretty much been my passion ever since. I just ran with it, and that's the type of music I create. More music to relate to people, like, just to share more of the energy. Let people that they're not by themselves all the time. I
Mm-hmm.
know with photography, um, just one of those creative situations. It's not necessarily about me with photography. It's about the other person, what they see, and trying to create whatever vision they see into an image or a certain moment that they can always look back on.
Mm-hmm.
So I know portraits and all that is very big with me. And yeah, man, just traveling and doing music, doing just moving on. All.
Okay. I like that how you worded that with the photography, just like that moment. I don't know, that made me feel things like damn, like I know that hit. Okay, so what so you said portraits, what else do you do with your photography? So let us know what do you do, and then also how we would be able to find your work. If someone in the Palm Beach area is listening and they wanted to get photography from you,
Yeah,
yeah.
all over South Florida. I pretty much go anywhere I need to. It's me and my brother, so it's two photographers, and we have a website, Sunbury Film and Photography. And we also do films too, short films, and just trying to create, man. Like I said, it's not necessarily about me; it's about whatever you're trying to get, um, and me doing my best to bring whatever vision or whatever that's inside of you out into reality.
Hmm.
You know, people are very creative, and I just love being creative with them. So it's just one of those things like connecting with people, and you know, um, Instagram and just whatever. Most of the time how I do photography is I go out to shoot at certain spots, and a lot of times people just attract because they see the creativity that's going by.
Hmm.
I'll be with a certain person, and vibes attract, and
Yeah.
that's mostly how I expand. And we be everywhere, man, all over South Florida, um, Delray to Fort Lauderdale, and wherever, man.
Okay. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna call you out. You got your guitar next to you, don't you?
Yeah.
You gonna play a little song right quick for us? It's on video now, so we can see you. We can hear it. So I mean, just want to bless the
Right
audience.
now.
That would be.
Not
Uh,
today. We'll do another one.
is
We
that?
doing we doing a part two, man. Part two.
Oh man, come on, give us something. Give us something.
Part two, man. Part two. I'm not a night person anyway.
That's right. This is my time. He's usually asleep right now. Okay. All right. All right. All right. We'll get him. We'll get him. We'll get him. Okay. So my question is, what advice would you give creatives your age?
Creators my age.
Yeah.
Um, Let it come to you. You know, um, I know being creative, man, it's just one of those things I can't really force. I can't do it like I do everything with just hustle, will, and determination. I just can't do it.
Hmm.
When you're being creative, it's just one of those things that just happen. Everything is just in sync. Feelings, everything, like everything flows. Um, there's no distractions around you. Um, Everything inside of you just pours out. It's just one of those things. So my big thing is step out, get out of your own way. I know that's the big thing with me. I had to get out of my own way in order to create something great. Or, it's just one of those things. I can't create it on demand. And if you really want to create something special, it'll happen for you. Just keep trying, getting better every day. But like I say, man, just let it happen without judgment. Don't do anything extra. Don't let anything hold you back. Don't hold yourself back. Don't think too hard. Just do it.
Okay. Okay. Oh, also, by the way, let them know your age so they know. Right now. So like, how
Um,
old is it?
21.
Yeah. 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 He don't sound 21, do he? He don't sound 21. Yeah. 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 Okay. Okay. All right. So now we're bringing back to how we were about to start. So, what's a life lesson you've learned that shaped you to be the person you are today?
That's a good question. A life lesson. Uh, don't be perfect. Don't
Ooh.
ever try and be perfect.
Oh.
Um, I know you can't please everyone. You can't make everyone happy. The only person that matters is you. Literally, your life, your decisions. Um, Remembering that day. I think a lot of times we get surrounded by things that become more than reality. We create a lot of things that seems like more than reality on social media or whatever, just based off how we use it. But don't try and be perfect, man. Just be yourself. Realize, like I said, everyone won't accept you. Um, Everything won't go your way all the time, but as you move through life, you realize the only thing that matters is you, your decisions, um, allowing yourself to get better. Like I say, man, we're not God, so don't try to be. Give yourself room to improve. If you did your best at a moment, just let it be. And then next time, just raise the bar for yourself. Try and push to do a little more. Um, every day, no matter what you have in front of you, man. Um, like I say, even with like music, uh, I know that the only thing I could do is my best. So I don't try and impress everyone. I know that that was holding back my career for a long time, man. Just trying to get like the perfect song or the perfect this, the perfect that. And I just had to stop and realize that um, it was the best I can do at the moment. So I let that be, and then I just move on. Like I say, give yourself room to improve, give yourself room to grow, and just love yourself, man. Seriously, but don't try and be perfect.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. That's a lot. I like that. You were about to start off also when about an event that happened in Cali that also shaped you.
hmm
Would you like to share it with us?
Yeah. So, um, basically after high school, man, it was a very confusing point in my life. I just knew things wasn't really good for me. My environment wasn't good for me. My friends sucked. Um, and what I mean by that, like, they didn't really serve me. They wasn't really pushing me to do better. It was always like negativity or whatever. I had a girlfriend at the time that wasn't really good at all. Um, and I just knew that I wanted better for myself. So, um, but I wasn't thinking like that at the time. And like I say, I hit rock bottom. Also, like before I had went to Cali, um, I got robbed by these two guys for some reason buying studio equipment, and I don't know, that sucked. Being held up at gunpoint and all that, but that was cool because it made me the person who I am today.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
That was
so
cool. Okay. Uh-huh.
no, seriously, man, like I probably wouldn't be who I am. If it didn't happen, I wouldn't feel the things I felt at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So, boom, after graduation, I went to California, San Francisco, and just being a kid from South Florida, um, we pretty much see our environment. We don't really see that it's one of the best places that you can live, especially in America. And pretty much all I seen was my box, my environment, what my grandparents had knew, what my mom had knew. Um, and me stepping outside of the box for that first time made me see a lot of the things that I thought were not even real. Um, for some reason, being out there, a lot of the things I saw on TV, I saw in real life. Um, and it wasn't necessarily like Hollywood things, but just a whole different culture, the way people interact with each other. Um, I remember growing up where my grandmother, she was like, "Oh, it's too expensive out there. How are you going to do that? How are you ever going to get out there?" And I finally got out there, and I just took time to look around, and I seen people were living. You know, I saw Pixar. Pixar was my childhood. Toy Story and stuff. But and the funny part about that, I actually had a hotel right next to the studio. So just me seeing these things was very different. It was very eye-opening because um, I didn't really recognize that it was actually guys who created something so special to me. It was actually guys behind Toy Story. Like I say, that was my childhood. You don't really think about those type of things, and just seeing the mountains and the valleys and the bridges going across the Golden Gate Bridge and things, and like I say, the people and the culture is it was very shocking, and to me, it just opened up a door of possibility, of things that I never thought I would be. My grandmother has been in Palm Beach her whole life. My mom has been in Palm Beach her whole life. Um, Outside of that, when we went with the Little Rock, Arkansas, it's pretty much nothing there. Um, and then my family, our environment, people don't even leave their neighborhood. So that was basically all I seen, man. And me seeing these things, I just seen that it was possible, and that possibility changed my whole life. I remember it was like late at night. It was like 2 days after I got there. Shell shock at all the things I had seen, and I was by the window by my hotel room, and I literally, bro, just sat there like 4 o'clock in the morning, just crying because it was you know, like I say, man, it's just something that I just didn't really believe existed. For some odd reason. We see these things on TV, be like, oh, okay, yeah. But like for me to actually see these things, it was very life changing. And that possibility, man, it changed everything for me. And I literally changed everything. The people I knew that like I was talking to that day, the things I've dealt with that day, the person that I had saw that day within myself, um, I left it. I literally left everything. I left all the old friends. I left all the old habits. I changed everything. Um, I changed myself. I changed the way I looked at myself. Um, and that was my process of self improvement in order to get back to that moment that I saw in California for me. I know California is just another place, but for me, it was me seeing my dream right in front of me. And that was very, I can't even explain it, man. It was amazing. But that just changed me, bro. It really did because you just don't see those things. I've had, good buddies of mine who, I could talk about these things, but to them it's just another dream to them too. And to me it's not a dream anymore.
Mhm.
And that was literally my point of being the best version I can be, man. Um every day, the way I think, my the way I feel, um who I am, I just started to improve on that. And like I said, it's not something that that controls my life. I'm totally okay with being in the moment. But as long as I know that I could be a little better tomorrow, or I can do a little more tomorrow, or I could just be a little better as a person, um, it just put me in a certain position to be who I am today. And I noticed on my journey, what also became more important to me as I did it was the people around me that it started to affect. You know, my mom totally changed through everything. Um, Pops can't really say that much, but like seriously, man, the people I started to affect. I started doing my thing, man. I started um making music more and focusing more on that and changing up my style, the things I listen to. I started expanding um, the painful things I felt at that time, man. It drove me to a new level. Um, I didn't want to be that same guy. I didn't want to be what my environment was. I didn't want to be like the guys in my environment. And like I say, man, it just made me who I am today. And I'm steady going, still going, man. And life's great. And I haven't looked back since.
That's powerful. That's very powerful. You're able to see your dream and just all of that, just you were right in front of you to experience that. I would even say that's a very, very, very rare moment. And for you to experience that and it's caused you to be the person you are today, that's huge. Like words can't really, like how you said, words can't really describe that, but to have that experience for yourself. And though the things that led up to that has also shaped you as well, it's just how like hindsight looking back at it and looking at how you are today, that's huge, bro. That's really huge. And I thank you for sharing that with everybody here, because I'm sure other people either have or will experience, their dream in front of them at some point soon. And just like hearing that, I don't know, just hearing that someone has done it, I don't know, I feel like it opens that door of possibility like you had for yourself, for other people to experience that. So thank you, broski. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate you. Okay. So that's it for my questions with you. Before I go to the next column of this, do you have any questions before I go into this? I'm coming for them now.
Not yet. If I do, I'll just blurt it out.
Cool. Okay. So, guys, I hope you all had a good little moment, chilling, absorbing all of that. By all means, you can pause and rewind, because what's coming up next is the gut check segment. So, I don't know if you're sitting down. I don't know if you're watching a show. I don't know what you're doing, or driving. You already know how this is going to go. I'm going to come for you. I've already said that this season. So, like I always give you guys a moment of pause. Take a deep breath. Y'all gonna need it. All right. So my question to you is, who are you giving a lot of your power and energy to? And why? And what I mean by this, for some of y'all, just in case y'all like, what do you mean by that? Is, who are you allowing to disrupt your peace? Who are you allowing to disrupt your flow? Who is the individual group of people that you're allowing to just give your power to and your energy to? And where this came from, right? You already know there's a story with everything that I tell y'all with these gut checks, but sometimes you will find that, you'll be doing your thing, you'll be vibing, living your best life. And I don't know, Keisha come around and all of a sudden you tight. You know what I mean? You ain't like you was 2 minutes ago. Keisha done came around. Now you just shut off. You don't want to deal with nobody. You a little irked, right? So when that happens, you're giving a little bit of your power energy to Keisha, and Keisha just didn't even know she bothered you, but all of a sudden you type, right? I want you to take a moment and ask yourself, who do I experience something like this with? And if you are one of the people who are saying, I don't experience this with nobody, that I'm in the clear, well, okay, that's good. I'm gonna give an easy one. This might, ruffle some feathers, but it's okay. This is why y'all finna grow. But here in America, you mentioned the word Trump. Oh boy, the energy is just goes crazy, right? And I must say, as a person who observes people, I really find it just like I don't know, I find it very fascinating, or very, I don't know, it puts me in a shock to see that this one man can affect some of y'all emotions to the degree that it does. And it just blows my mind, right? So that's an easy target, right, for some of y'all. But here's what I mean. Here's why I'm asking you this. This is a gut check for you, because when you're doing this and you're allowing people to disrupt your peace and your flow, you're giving them the power over you. I'm just gonna say it simple. I ain't gonna say it cute for y'all. I told y'all that. You're giving them power over you. You're giving them power of your emotions. You're giving them power of that moment in the day. And when you do that what that looks like to repair that is, oh, well, I need to speak with this person so that I can get my power back. I need to be on. I'm sorry, I'm gonna really piss y'all off. I need to get on my hands and knees and I need to beg this person to please give me my power back so that I can feel better, so that I can, have my peace. Now, me saying that to some of y'all probably like, okay, he's really on some drugs. But really, that's what it looks like. If you're really giving people that power to just affect you. So I'm gonna ask you again, who around you right now, today, or probably earlier today, or if you at work right now, you listen to this, 35 minutes ago when you was on break, or if some of y'all driving and y'all got somewhere to go, who is it that you about to give your power to, or who is it that you currently giving your power to, or who is it that you once gave your power to, and look back at that and ask yourself why is it, what is it about them that is like ruffling you or just bothering you, and come at it from in a place of observing. What is this bringing about in me? Why is it I allow this person to get me so angry? What is it that they're saying? What is it about them that is doing something to me? What is the message here? What is this representing within myself? And when you do that and you figure out why this person is doing something to you, you'll find that there's some keys in there. There's some healing in there that needs to happen. So, there's a stepping stone. We can go into this, but I just want y'all to, take a moment. Rewind this so you can, go back. But what I'm kind of feeling is some of y'all probably like, nah, I ain't gonna do that, but I'm gonna come for you some more. So you can ignore it, right? That's what most people do. They say, nah, I ain't fit to deal with that person, or nah, they don't want me to do something. You just leave it alone. But you ain't really helping nobody. You only just make yourself pissed off even more. So you can either choose to continue to give that person power over you, disrupt your peace, your flow, or you can do something about it. You can face it, own up to it, and really, heal yourself so that it doesn't bother you anymore. So y'all sit with that. Brandon, is there any is there a gut check you want to give the people?
A gut check.
Yeah, gut check. 2020, we coming for people today.
2020. Gut checks, huh?
Gut checks.
Well, kind of like to piggyback off what you were saying, man. What are the patterns that people see within themselves? A lot of the patterns that we see that are not good for ourselves, but a lot of times it could be in us.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times it could be our own problems in the way we think or whatever it is. So what are the patterns that you see?
That's big right there. That's really big, and I'm making myself think like, what is certain patterns that I would see? Like I can answering that question, because y'all know this is a podcast where we expose ourselves, not y'all, but myself. Sorry, but for me, one of the patterns that I would say I still experience to this day, and I'm getting better at it, would be sometimes I can just be vibing, living my best life, like I said to others. And then a random thought about either a past conversation or something that I just had with someone, and it makes me think, and it's just like I feel my energy kind of like honing in on it, and it's just like, you don't need to do that. And then I can kind of feel the frequency getting a little low, and I'm like, why? And then I ask myself, why am I choosing to focus on this individual? So instead, I'm like, okay, I know I can just throw the thought away, but if it pops up again, I'm like, okay, let me ask myself, what is it that I need to see here? And sometimes I've learned like, hey, for me to break the pattern, I just had to really just accept it. Okay, it's happening. What is it? Why do I keep thinking that? And then it'll come to me. You need to stop focusing on individuals who has energy like this, and instead focus on what's calling you. And I'm like, oh, that's what it is. It's like, yeah. So then when I focus on what's calling me, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm good. I'm getting this. And I'm like, thank you, individual. That's one of the things like I still kind of deal with. So most of mine is like mental, but I take a moment to address it right then and there and not throw it away. And I get the answer. And I'm like grateful that I had the thought. So that's one of the patterns that I have for myself. Just exposing myself here, because I don't want people thinking that I'm just coming for them and I'm all good two shoes. But that's my answer. What about you?
Well, my thing is letting people in my life who I know shouldn't be in there. Yeah, man. Because I do love people, but I am also selfish. But a lot of times I'll let people in my life for like a quick second. It really don't be that long. And my intuition be speaking to in the back of my head, like, okay, look, am I going to learn anything from this person? Are they going to bring any value to me? Or are they pushing me to get to the next level. And it's not so much about me, but it's like for the other person as well. Are my values going to benefit this person at all? Or are they going to want to change me in any type of way, you know?
Hmm.
So it's like if I know that, and I know that we're just not on the same frequency or level per se, like, you gotta go,
Hmm.
like I said, you kind of gotta operate from that mindset of not being so scarce, you know. Like I say, there are good people everywhere, but if you know it's not really good for you, you got to make that decision. And a lot of times it is hard because I do like people, but it's like, like it's not going to go good. And I know a lot of times for me, like I said, I know that's what builds a lot of frustration with me. It's because I do these things, but it's like a lot of times I don't understand for some reason, or I might forget. As time go on, I may forget and be like, oh man, why did I do this? Why did I do that? But it happens for a reason, or like the reasons why it'll pop up back in my head sooner or later. But you gotta put yourself first, man. Don't feel bad for putting yourself first. Yeah, that's a
Hmm.
big thing. So yeah, you put yourself first. Watch who comes into your life, and then you know manage your energy. Because I used to let people take a lot
Hmm.
of my energy. And I used to notice it. That's the bad thing because I used to notice when people used to come just to steal my energy or just to bring my energy down. Because I used to notice that, man. A lot of people used to come in, get my energy, and then after I get done, now I'm feeling bad. And they happy, going on about their day, you know?
Hmm.
So you realizing these things and you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, that's huge right there. Managing your energy, that's big right there, like you said, and then just being aware of it and actually doing something about it. Yeah, that's true. That's anything. Y'all better take something from that. Really manage your energy. But okay, thank you, broski. Thank you. And then the last column, guys, which is the advice column. So if you're all new, basically just message me on IG or Facebook for advice on how to connect better with yourself or those around you. And then from there, I'll just pick two and answer them in the next episode. So, and by the way, feel free to hop and tag into this. Um, so there's two questions. The first one is from, and I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, Jaframe. Um, so, oh, this is kind of funny. All right. So I'm from another country, and when I try to talk to my American friends about their president, it gets very heated. Is there a way to communicate to them about this topic without it being a heated discussion, or no? Okay. Well, Jafrane, I can't speak for all of the Americans here. Um, the best advice that I can give you when it comes to a situation that will most likely become heated and you're not sure is to ask the person, is it okay if I ask you this question, to really prepare them? And at the same time, they will let you know, no, I don't want to talk about that, or no, I don't. So if on the topic, I don't know what it is that you're probably asking us Americans about regarding the president. If it's something like, hey, like, you something you want to know, or there's a particular question, I would say identify the source. So let's just say you want to ask, hey, is your president really, like, was he really a business owner before then? Okay, if that's your main question, then like, hey, so I would present that question probably to one of your American friends, like, hey, I have a question, but it's relating to the president of the United States. Are you okay with me asking you a question on the subject, or no? And then from there, if they say no, leave it alone. If they say yes, then that's when you get very specific, because everybody's like a bomb right now when it comes to this person. So I would say, so if it was business, like, I would say, is it true that he was a businessman before he became president? Period. Leave it at that. They either say yes or no. From there, you just keep it moving. Then, if you have more questions, I would keep it precise, but ask the person, are you okay if I ask you just a few more questions and I'll be done? So I would be gentle with it. Ask permission first, so that way when you just come at it, you're not hit with a lot of heated discussions, because it's a lot of mix of stuff with going on with Americans and the president. So that's my advice. But again, I'm not sure specifically what type of questions you're asking, but whatever they are, I would say just be precise and ask for permission. Do you have any thing you want to add to that, or?
To me?
Yeah, no, that's it. Right, you don't have to, but
Hey man, I feel like, especially in America, man, it's impossible to not have a heated conversation about Trump. So, hey man, have your own back. Seriously. Especially dealing with Americans, man. Politics get very deep, and they take it very serious. So, hey man, I'm gonna say this: have control over your emotions and the way you feel. Make sure you don't get heated. That's all I gotta say, man. Because the more calm you are, the more right that you come off as. I'll be honest with you, no matter what you're saying. So as long as you stay calm and say what you gotta say, make sure they don't cut you off or nothing. But just say what you gotta say. You got it.
hey, that's money right there. My boy said, make sure your own emotions are good. Hey, that's true. That's really true. Cause, whew, you talk about politics. Oh boy, it gets ruthless. Yo, you have one crack in your speech, one shudder of doubt. Oh, they come for you. But yeah, that's solid right there. That's real solid. I like that. Okay. So the next one is from Collier, and the question is, how do I connect with people who are depressed so that I can help them feel better? I haven't experienced it, but I would like to help some people I know who are. Okay. Well, I'm glad you said that you haven't experienced it first, because that makes it a little bit easier to answer the question. So to connect with people, so off the bat, you have good intention. You want to help them feel better. What I would say, speaking, since you haven't had that experience, is going to be a little tough for you because you haven't experienced it, but that's okay. That doesn't stop you or hinder you. The best thing is everybody's depression is a bit different. So depending on the people you're talking with, if you guys are close enough, then I would ask them, like, hey, like, why do you feel like, and always state your intentions, so it's not coming off like you're attacking or like a judging. So like, hey, why is it that you feel depressed? Like, I'm genuinely trying to understand. And if they tell you, oh, I'm depressed because I feel like I'm worthless, right? I feel like I'm a waste of space or something like that, right? So if you want to help that person, I would say first thing is ask the person, like, hey, are you open to me, maybe try to help you find some solutions to feel better? If they say yes, okay, cool. If they say no, then you want to respect that. But me, if you really care about the person, I would probably just kind of look maybe for either someone who probably has experienced what they experienced from what they told you, or a coach or something, or a video or whatever it is, and probably share that with them to help them feel better, because you can't really force them out of that. That's something they kind of have to do, but with help and knowing that someone is there for them, that's something that you can do. So what would help you is, again, ask them what it is, especially if you're close. Ask them what it is, state your intentions, why they're depressed. Ask them why they're depressed, state your intentions, and then ask them if they're open for help, yes or no. If they're adamant, like, no, respect that, because you don't want to mess up stuff. But if they're like, yeah, I'm sure I'm open to something, then you can look up something, people, or resource or something like that. But it's also cool that you're there trying to help them. So that's really good. And you're showing that support. So that's a start. And as that person, if they take that resource from there, then you just really go from there on their own journey. But you don't really want to force them and stuff like that. It's kind of each person's depression is different. But that would be my advice for you as a start. because that's not a one all be all. So, but yes, that's something that I would do to start off if you have not. But that is my answer. What about you? Do you have anything to add?
Well, yeah, like you said, state your intention, but also make sure that they want to be helped because you can't help anyone you don't want to help. Um, you'll be doing much harm if you be doing too much. So just make sure if they need you and if you are available that you can be available to help them with whatever. But the thing about depression is that it's within, it's internal conflicts within themselves. So um, this is very deep and it's something that it comes and it goes, but it's within. It's puzzles inside that they have to put together themselves. Um, they have to literally sit down and think about what's going on or understand why they're feeling a certain way because there is a reason why they're feeling that way. But they have to be willing to go within and notice these things and want to get help for themselves. Because it could be like a certain situation that's going on or a certain thought about how they think about themselves. It's all within. It's nothing that you can really do, but just make sure that if they do need you or if there's any information that they could get from you, if you can and if you care about them, that you can do that for them. But um, just support, support them the best way that you can. Like I say, don't do too much because not only that you'll be wasting energy, but you'll probably be making it worse. So just stay in your place um, and do the best that you can. Literally, that's all you can do. Anything that can help them go within themselves, you can help them with that. Meditation of sorts or um, whatever, positive, positive energy, positive support. Um, but be yourself. But just hopefully they figure it out. Let them know that it's not going to last forever.
Gotcha. That's good. That's really good. Well, Collier, I hope that helps you, my man, and I hope it works out. I also just give you your props on being able to, number one, reach out, and also two, wanting to help your friend. That's big, especially in this world nowadays. Some people are like, oh, I'm gonna leave them over there, they'll figure it out. But that's good. So with that being said, guys, that's really it. Do you have anything you want to add before we end this episode, kind sir?
Thanks for the opportunity, man. Seriously, and all you guys too for allowing me to be on here. And you know, uh, thanks. Seriously.
Very welcome, Rusky. Very, very welcome. Very, very welcome. Thank you for making the time to record because I know this is not your time where you're usually up. So I appreciate you. My man. Thank you. And to everybody who's listening, I do appreciate you taking the time out of your day to open the app, listen to the show. I thank you also for the new people that's been listening as well. And I've also been noticing you guys out there in the UK. Thank you for representing. I've been seeing you guys. And so, guys, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for listening every Tuesday. And I look forward to the next episode. And I also look forward to coming for all of you this season because that's what we're going to do. It's 2020. So we finna get better. All right, guys. So with that being said, that is it. I will talk to you all soon. Thank you, Brandon, again for coming on. And everybody enjoy the rest of your day, night, evening, or whatever, wherever and whenever time you are on the planet. All right, guys. Later.